Good morning there. How are you all doing? Oh, I forgot my picture on this, so oh well. But he's a cute little raccoon, isn't he? A little dancing away. I've been trying to redo my screens. So right now that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get your little raccoon. How y'all doing today? Hi OC. Nice to see you. It's nice to see, it's always nice to have friends, and I'm trying to like not screen when Kev is doing it or Mark is doing it or even Shrimp. Um it's very hard to figure out when to stream. And yeah, that's just it, because they bring you the news and the stuff that they've been really looking at, and their expertise in certain areas are a lot more than mine. And so when it concerns streaming at the same time as Kevin and Mark and, like I said, even Shrimp, I want to stay out of their way because, of course I won't get the viewers, but it will also be because they have they have the expertise to be speaking on these things. I don't. A mother, I have borderline, and my job, my intent is to just bring awareness. And sometimes with the news, it's when we're looking at the news and we're borderline, it triggers us. I was triggered so much yesterday that I just had to get it all out, and I did it in an inappropriate way on Kevin's Discord. And I said things I normally would not say. I would suppress all that in a way. But however, at the time, I was feeling it all and I had to get it out. And feelings are never wrong. What's wrong is, saying it in the way I said things wasn't too nice about certain groups of people. And I normally don't do that. I try so hard not to do that. So, I got listeners today. I got Mama Bear. Hi. I got Eric. Hi. And this is morning coffee with me. I'm gonna be reading a couple news articles and giving my take on them. Not the most expert with it, but I try to bring a different angle to some of this stuff. And sometimes when I'm reading, I can intuitively get things, and it's frustrating for me. And I hope when that stuff happens, because it's, could be wrong, could be right. It doesn't matter. It just is, It's just the way things are. However, let's go into the news. I got my coffee. I hope you all got your Koopa coffee. Is that how you say it, OC? Koopa Koopa? I love it because I learned OC language, OC slang, and I'm a person from New England, in the United States. But I have a lot of Australian friends I've made over the past year, and they're a great bunch of people with a different way of saying things. Yeah, Mama Bear, that's the whole thing. I didn't use the best words to describe how I was feeling about, the group, what I was saying about the groups of people. I remember growing up, how, we all remember growing up and how certain, I got an echo. Oh, goodness. I don't know how to fix that. Is it popping or is it an echo? Because I have it directly into the computer because I don't know how to use my soundboard at all. Mark told me it would take me some time to learn all this. So I get frustrated. I said, Mark, how do I do this? How do I do that? I bought this. It's just a little rinky-dink thing that's cheap anyway. Oh, that's because I don't have it hooked into what it came with. I'm going to get a new mic, the one that I know how to use. And then I'll probably fidget around with this one more later then. Should I go back to my cam? Okay. I just, I like the way the cam mic doesn't pick up the bass in the voice, and I don't like that. I like the way a regular sound mic picks up my bass. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm fidgeting with my hands as I speak here. But yeah, it's good to get it out. But with the right group of people, like I've noticed, even though Kevin has a lot of people on his Discord, for the most part, they have learned to let me just get it out and say it. And it was kind of funny because our little I'm 51. Gotta understand this. When we have a teenager in the room that's almost an adult, okay, he's a young man. He's the one that actually calmed me down by giving me other things to look at and obsess about. And a lot of times that helps, should I go closer? Is this any better? Or, oh, okay. All right. Is it any better closer, OC? Am I popping? I think it's the popping hollow sound. I think it's because I'm going in and out popping. And I've noticed that does it on my streams too. That's the only reason I re-listen to them. So anyways, like I said, Kevin and Housatonic and them, they have more information. They've been doing this a lot longer. But I'm going to, say what I see. And sometimes, like I said, intuitively I get things. And could be right, could be wrong. Like when I was reading there's an article I was reading about how that man recently died. I think he was a rapper, and I'm not too good with rap artists, so but he died of a heart attack, and I guess the media is making it out to be all drugs. But when I was reading that article, I'll give you an example, the intuit side of me. I was reading that article, and I'm like thinking, the thought went in my head, I wonder when he got his vaccine. And then it went out. And then this morning I'm on Discord and I'm hearing how the parents and the family is upset because the news is plastering about drugs all over it, and he had just gotten the vaccine about a week ago. That's what I'm talking about. Little things like that will pop into my head. So if I do that when reading an article, when we're doing this, then that's all that is. It's thought in and out, and it's an intuitive thought. It could be right, it could be wrong. It surprises me when it is right. So I'm going to get on with the news. I tried to set this up good. So let's go to my new screen and move this over so that we can see. I can see you. I tried to make it so that I can still see chat while I'm doing this because I'm frustrated. I went to Streamlabs and did everything that the video said to do, and my chat box is not working. So, and of course, I'm asking people about the chat boxes, and nobody's getting back to me. I mean, they have their stuff they're doing. Like Mark, he's doing a lot of research on certain things, and, he doesn't really have time to appease the gods of Marie just to, tell me how to do stuff, and neither does anybody else. So, and I do understand that. I just wanted to throw that out. Whenever I say something in chat, it's just a joke. It's just, I'm frustrated and I'm just joking, and, it's not really their fault, I mean, people have lives. So anyways, let's get into this. The fatal blood clots. On about a month ago or so, I had posted on Facebook that with the AstraZeneca vaccine, I read an article how they were going to be putting a warning on their vaccine soon. And the warning in that article, they were stating about low blood platelet counts. People with low blood platelet counts tended to get the blood clots. And so what I did, because it's so important to tell people that, I said, I'm not the expert, and I'm not the expert to be telling anybody this. But from what I see and what I get, it's, we have to wait and see with the low blood platelet counts. And then I read about problems with the spleen. And then when one of our good friends in Discord, and that would be Jigs, his parents ended up in the hospital after, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, after they had the vaccine and diabetes. So I looked up an article, and I told Housatonic this morning that I really should look it up and know what I'm talking about, to let people know the connection between diabetes and the spleen, because to me, it's all connected. And I would say, on my post, I would say, I told them, I communicated. I didn't tell. I communicated. Words are very important, by the way, for borderline. When you're choosing a word, certain words like negate what you just said beforehand. And I learned that you don't tell people things, you communicate it to them, because telling them, it means like you're forcing things on them. So anyways, I communicated to, I don't talk, I've never been well spoken. Anyways, I communicated on my Facebook post that just because of what I was seeing, I'm not a doctor and stuff, more things are needed to come out. If somebody has any type of immunocompromised system, low blood platelet counts, a problem with their spleen, or diabetes, I think, in my opinion, my unprofessional opinion, because I'm not a doctor or anything, I would ask your personal care physician not to have the AstraZeneca if it's ever approved for emergency use in the United States, because it's not right now. I don't know if they have this week or anything, because I've been adjusting on my medications and I have a low attention span at this point. But this article came out, and where's the date? When I look at articles just to teach people, this is what I learned all last year. I like to look at the date of the article, who it is, Microsoft News. I look at the headline, because the headlines are potentially not even close to what they're going to say. And then I like to look for the date. But this date was last week anyways. It came out last week. So, the Business Insider from Microsoft News. Potentially fatal blood clots are a very rare side effect of AstraZeneca's vaccine. Now, this term, very rare, is subject to who's around you and your circle of people. I think it's subjective when it's used in mainstream media. They're trying to get a fear down in you so that you will take the vaccine, and that's just the way it goes. They're trying. To me, I know, like I said, Jigs had both his parents went into the hospital. I've known a couple other people, blood clots, and quick deaths after having a vaccine. And I have a very, very, very small circle. For me to have a small circle and know as many people as I do that have had these type of side effects, I think it's not as rare as they are making it out to be. Doctors and nurses know what they're doing, for the most part. You have to advocate for yourself. I've always said that. You have a good PCP that knows your body. They will tell you, okay, I'm not, like when I had the OBGYN, my last appointment, they could put me on hormones, like the pill, to counter the effects of menopause. And I'm a woman, I'm going to talk about these things, okay? They can counteract a lot of my menopausal reactions to what's going on in my body. However, since I'm a smoker, which is bad, so, I tell my doctors, stop preaching to me, because I already know they have a responsibility to do that. And so does all my friends. So does all my friends who don't smoke. They, and I understand them. I can understand it. But my doctor said I can't put you on the pill consciously because in a woman who smokes, they do tend to cause blood clots and deep vein thrombosis in the leg. And there have been many instances where there's been a blood clot in the heart, the lungs, or the brain. So, this being said, a good doctor will know and will be up to date and will be reading these things inside and out. You have to shop around for your doctor. You got to trust your doctor. You have to trust your doctor. I mean, that's your life you're dealing with. Just like trusting anybody you're trusting with your spiritual life. That's your eternal life. You got to trust them, more than you would trust your spouse or anything. Because that's your life. That's your eternal life. So anyways, European regulators have flagged rare blood clots as side effects of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine. An investigation had examined 86 reported blood clots in vaccinated people, of which 18 were fatal. Look at that. How rare is that? 86 reported blood clots and 18 were fatal. That's a huge number. All right? To me. It just taken, they're only saying they had examined the blood clots and 18 of them were fatal. So it's not how many people had gotten the shot. They just that. And that's a huge amount of number that there was fatal blood clots. The regulators said that the benefits of AstraZeneca's shot still outweigh the risk. Well, who's at risk? That's my question. So, unusual blood clots that can be fatal should be listed as a very rare side effect. Rare for who? It's subject to who you are. I have a sister-in-law with no spleen. I don't think she should be getting the AstraZeneca at all. At all. She has no spleen. I have my cousin's wife is immunocompromised. I know a few people who are immunocompromised, and that's all spleen. Okay, so when they say it's very rare side effect, who are they talking to? The European Medicines Regulator said Wednesday. The European Medicines Agency added in a press release that the benefits of AstraZeneca's vaccine still outweigh the risks. Well, for my sister-in-law and my cousin's wife, and then my I call her my cousin-in-law. I love that woman. And then my friend downstairs, her husband, he has an immunocompromise. He has a condition. And so, for who are they very rare? These are not very rare for people that have these conditions. The recommendation followed an investigation of 86 reported blood clots in vaccinated people, 18 of which were fatal. They repeated themselves. At a press conference, Emer Cook, I think that's how you say it, the EMA's executive director, said the risk of dying from COVID-19 was much higher than the risk of dying from any side effects. A view the EMA has maintained throughout this investigation has been ongoing since March 31st. Okay, now, any immunocompromised person, if they get COVID-19, can die from the higher risk of COVID-19. However, what if they weren't the ones that were at risk for the blood clots from the vaccine? You never know who's at risk. About 34 million people have received the AstraZeneca vaccine. Following the announcement, the UK's regulator said it would offer an alternative to the AstraZeneca vaccine for people under the age of 30. So wait a minute. Are these blood clots in people under the age of 30? I haven't been paying attention, Kevin. I've been a bad raccoon. So anyways, people taking the vaccine should be aware of the possibility of very rare cases of blood clots combined with low levels of blood platelets occurring within 2 weeks of vaccination. 2 weeks. The rapper in question had it 1 week and he had a heart attack. Well, if they're doing an autopsy, it will show if this if he had a blood clot in his heart. It could be due to the vaccination. I mean, and I don't think this is just AstraZeneca, honestly. Boom, I'm getting something. This isn't just AstraZeneca. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Forgive me if I add to it because it's just a thought that comes in and goes out. So, where do we go from there? The EMS said, as of April 4th, a total of 169 cases of blood clots in the brain, 53 cases of blood clots in the spleen were reported. Around 34 million people had been vaccinated in Europe and UK as of this date. Most of the clots had been reported in women under 60 years old. In women. What did I say about the pill? But these rare events have been seen in all ages and both genders. More women than men have been immunized in Europe, which could be the reason that more clots have been reported in young women. How old were the women that have been vaccinated, though? From what I understand, they've been doing it in the United States, and in particular my state. They've been going, 80-year-olds, 70 to 80, 60 to 70. They've been saying it's available for certain age groups. So I don't know how they're doing it in Europe. If anybody is in Europe can tell us, that would be great. Because more women than men have been immunized in Europe, which could be the reason that more clots have been reported among young women. Okay. Young women. Okay? They don't define what a young woman is to them. Regulators are still looking into what causes the clots. The EMA said the rare blood clots mostly occurred about 2 weeks after the first dose. But the first dose, did that guy get the first dose but not the second? I think I read something, but I just, I'll have to read it again. But noted that a lower number of people had received their second dose of AstraZeneca's 2-dose vaccine. The regulators said it was still looking into exactly what was causing the unusual blood clots and has stipulated further studies with results expected over the next couple months. It's possible, for instance, that the body's immune response to the vaccine is responsible for the clotting problem. Is that referring to the cytokine storm? Peter Arlett, not Arlett because it has 2 T's, the head of analytics at the EMA said that the estimated risk of getting a rare blood clot based on the side effects reported was 1 in 100,000 in Europe and 1 in 600,000 in UK. That's relative to what your whole population is. Artlett linked the risk to that of the combined birth control pill. Listen. Artlett likened the risk to that of the combined birth control pill, which is given to otherwise healthy people. If you treat 10,000 women for a year, you get 4 excess blood clots in that year. But they don't tell you if you smoke, that's the risk. So maybe the smokers of those women got it. Alright. Countries including Canada, Germany, France, and Italy had put the shot on hold for the younger people as a precaution while the EMA's investigation was ongoing. The regulator did not issue any specific advice to countries on whom the vaccine The regulator did not issue any specific advice to countries on who to vaccinate with which vaccine. There are 3 other vaccines authorized in Europe from Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. I can't read the rest of it. How do I get rid of this browser thing? Alright, so anyways, that is basically, you know, what I've been really saying about this. And the fact that they actually likened it to what I was talking about with blood clots in women who smoke with the pill, then maybe it's linked to people with lower platelet counts, spleen, all that in a person who smokes. We just don't know yet. Okay. Do we have everybody here still? How am I doing here for you? We had really, really good posts and discords. I have seen a few people post in Discord. They're trying to discuss this with their elderly parents and other people, and they're getting frustrated because nobody's listening to them. So all you can do is put the seeds out there, people. You are being countered by mainstream media attack on these people, and these people probably don't even know how much mind control the media does. Dare I say that. So you got, on one hand, somebody you really, really love that you don't want her, and you really know, you're trying to put the warning out there and they're not listening. You got to let it go. Somehow you got to relieve your stress and know that you did the right thing by putting that seed in their head. However, they have the choice for themselves what to think, how to think it, and what to do. It's really frustrating to let the adult be the adult. But at this point, you can't really tell somebody what to do. You can only try to guide them. And if they're button heads with you and they're going to sit there and go against your advice, it's just like having a child. Like right now, I will try to teach my child, but who knows what's going to happen as she grows into an adult. Are those teachings going to hold, or are they going to, is she going to make her own mistakes and I just got to catch her when she falls and when she needs me? And that's what we need to do with our elderly parents. We, provided they don't have dementia and medical conservator, we got to let them make their own decisions, and then if they fall, we try to catch them. And it's heartbreaking because that fall could mean their life. And as hard as it is, you got to let it not get you down. You put the seed out there and you did the best you could. And you know, from peace of mind, you put that seed. You are in competition with other things that are influenced in them. Just like with my teenager, other things influence her. The more you have a child, the more influences she's going to have as she grows. And I would just hope that I taught her the right way. Well, I got mainstream media that I'm dealing with her too. And I tell you, that fight is not easy, and it's frustrating. I feel your pain. And when somebody really, really does have something happen after they've given the warning, like Jake's, I really wanted just to go and hug him. Because he did his best to try and warn them. And then something did happen. And that's gotta be an awful feeling. I don't have parents right now. My parents passed away. My husband passed away. I'm done taking care of my parents. You know, my mom. My grandmother passed away when I was 21. I could never take care of her. But I'm raising my daughter now, and it's just her and I solo. And sure, it's hard and stuff, but it's a lot harder because people my age, like in their beginning when you're 40, all the way up till you're 60, you're taking care of your parents. You know, you're trying to do the best by them too. And that's, I lived that with my mom all my life. Very difficult decision. I mean, I had the difficult decision of her taking morphine every day toward the end there. She had cancer, and it was lung cancer. Slapped me that I'm smoking. She had a surgery because chemo and radiation just would have killed her more. She had also pulmonary fibrosis, and radiation, if anybody knows about that, a lot of times it'll cause fibrosis in your lungs too. So she had a double whammy with that. And I was just beyond she had the surgery, and it came back the next year, so she was dying. And I'm like, but morphine, it's addictive. Isn't there something, you know, I pushed, and I looked at him, the doctor, and he looked at me and he said, Marie, if she becomes addicted to morphine, she's dying. What's worse, her being in pain or her addiction to morphine? And it was a difficult decision for me, but that's the only thing that made it okay in my book. The only thing that makes it okay in my book that that dying people don't get food is that they're not hungry. Their body's getting ready to go, and they're not hungry. The NRs, really, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that too much, but I do feel the pain. I can relate to the things that other people go through with their parents, because I went through it with mine. And like I said, when Jake said that, you know, his parents didn't listen, and all of a sudden they're in the hospital, I just wanted to go to Canada and just pack up and go hug him and never let him go. It's a hard thing to go through. All right, I'm going to get to the next thing. All right, this one bothers me too. All right, now, yep, I gotta pause it. I hate is a strong word. I have to, you know, my browser, if it sits, I can't be like Kevin. If it sits, it won't open right away for me. This is one thing that I tried in my first video that never came out. And hi Barker, how you doing? I gotta get permission from Kevin to put it into, you know, the mainstream of his chat, because I don't want to overstep my bounds with what I'm posting. So anyways, I have this one. This is not, I don't want you to look at this guy that posted this as a bad person, because they're not a bad person. This happens so often that we are used to seeing what we see. We're not used to seeing a different side to things. I spent 15 years in a nursing home, and my grandmother was a diabetic, and I'm used to those needles that you just pull off and have to dump in the contamination container. I've seen these needles, okay? Now, it does not look like a real needle if you are not used to dealing with these type of needles. They use them nowadays This is a retractable needle. They use them to lessen the chance of the person given the vaccine being pricked and infected with HIV, hepatitis C, or anything really that is really, really bad. So, blood mixing isn't good. So, it's all OC's fault. Thank you, OC. You're a good person. I love you. You're a great friend. So anyways, this one, he's not at fault for posting this. He's used to seeing needles that when they go in, they go in. When they come out, the needle comes out. Now, here, I'm glad this works because I want to show you something. I want you to know that I expanded this. There is something in the vaccine. Okay, there is something in this tube. All right. You can watch here. I mean, and my thing is, the first thing you notice, and we'll go through this a couple times, is that when they're injecting the person, there's nothing that's spattering out or anything. So that gives you a clue that it's not fake. Where's the liquid going? Second of all, once the plunger gets down to here, I want you to go up here and look, because he presses it one more time, and the needle does, again, I had to put this full screen. The needle does retract after the plunger is down, and he pushes this the third time. This video just proves that this retractable needle is doing everything that it's supposed to do. And the biggest thing is it's protecting the healthcare worker. He thought, because you can't see the needle going in, he thought it was a retractable needle that they use in movies. And because it fell, he thought, because he didn't see it coming out, it wasn't a real needle. Okay. But these are in use today just to protect the healthcare worker. I want to show it.
Needle pressed up, frame by frame, falls downward. Where's the needle? Why did it go from there to here? There to here. Come on, people. I don't see no needle there. Okay? Frame by frame, pressed up against the skin. Supposedly the needle's in the person. Falls straight down. And then they try to fake it away. I don't see no needle right there. Okay, you'd have to pull that out. There's no needle there. Okay, fake needle. They're fucking with us. Okay, fake needle. Nothing whatsoever. Okay, just to prove it to you again. Touches the skin.
I gotta rewind this a little bit.
There's the dimpling of the skin.
See, here. I didn't rewind it good enough.
Pushes up.
Okay, this is, just watch what he says about it. And then I'll go through the rest of it.
There. Okay. Going in. Slow. Slow. Pushes up against the skin. And there's the dimpling of the skin. It does not poke through the skin. Watch it slowly. Gets pushed back into the needle. Does not actually ever puncture the skin. Okay. Now, watch when it leaves the surface of the skin. It's going to drop downward. It physically can't, if it's a real needle.
See, here's where I turned around and I expanded it to full screen. You can see the liquid in there, okay? When she pushes the plunger down, the liquid is not pouring out. This needle is in there. You can't see a needle going in because it's just like when you're impaled. The needle is actually preventing you from bleeding right away. Okay, so what's happening is there is liquid in here. It's going out. Nothing's spilling. All right, I'm doing what he's doing, but only I'm proving him wrong. And it's not that he's a bad person, because a lot of people would think the same way he does.
It physically could not do that because the needle part, the metal bit, would still be in the person. It goes 90 degrees downward. Watch it. Just watch. I got to do it real slow for you to see it. Okay? Whatever they're injecting goes in, if there's even anything in there, that is. Okay? And she's still trying to fake it.
Okay. I'm going to rewind that, okay? Because it's hard to watch here and here at the same time. But when you see the needle, the plunger all the way down, you'll see over here they push in a little bit more. And that's when the needle is being retracted. Okay.
Still be in the person. It goes 90 degrees downward. Watch it.
Oh.
Just watch. I got to do it real slow for you
Better?
to see it. Okay? Whatever they're injecting goes in, if there's even anything in there, that is. Okay? And she's still trying to fake it, and needle falls downward.
Did you see the needle retracting itself? I just did, and I didn't even have it big again. Did you see that needle retract right as she pressed the plunger in the back? Okay, this needle, you can actually see it coming back from the person. Alright? Let's do that again. I'm sorry, I'm doing what he's doing, but it's really important to understand this. When she presses the needle all the way down, there's one more press, it's quick, and the needle actually retracts in there. And I saw it when, just now. I mean, I didn't have to, put the screen up.
Slow for you to see it. Okay? Whatever they're injecting goes in, if there's even anything in there, that is.
See the needle?
Okay? And she's still trying to fake it, and needle falls down.
Did you see the needle? Now, this just shows that this needle is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Alright, and I'm going on this over here now. Oh, boy. Video gallery. And here is the maker of one of our retractable needles, and they did. Okay, let me see if I can go back. See, this is the retractable needle, BD Integra retractable syringe. All right, and this is your video on how to use it. It's an instructional video for the people who do this. Let me see, make sure this video isn't quiet too. I turned it down because I wear my headset right now.
The BD Integra syringe has a detachable needle that offers clinical flexibility. Because of this, you can change needles for aspiration and administration of medication. Use the BD Integra 18-gauge blunt fill needle for filling purposes only. Remember to firmly tighten the needle onto the syringe prior to use. Also note that a BD Integra needle will only fit a BD Integra syringe. Standard hypodermic needles cannot be used. The procedures you currently follow for routine filling and injection will also apply to the BD Integra syringe. As with any hypodermic needle, be careful not to damage the needle point when removing the needle shields. Another important advantage of the BD Integra syringe is the fact that its retracting safety feature can be activated before or after the needle is withdrawn from the patient. Let's look at how to activate the safety device after the needle has been withdrawn from the patient. After you have given an injection and all the medication has been dispensed, hold the syringe as shown here. Activation of the safety device may cause minimal splatter. So for the greatest safety, when activating outside of the patient, activate the device away from yourself and others. Continue to push the plunger rod with your thumb until 2 clicks are sensed. The needle will then disappear into the syringe, and the plunger will be recessed into the barrel when activation has been completed. You can also choose to activate the device before the needle has been withdrawn from the patient. To do this, press on the plunger rod with your thumb as you administer medication. Once all of the medication has been dispensed, continue pushing the plunger rod to activate the safety mechanism. Depress until you sense 2 clicks. When activating this device before the needle is withdrawn from the patient, do not advance the needle further into the patient as the plunger is being depressed. The needle will disappear into the syringe. The plunger will be recessed into the barrel when activation has been completed. After use, the BD Integra syringe should be discarded immediately into an approved sharps collector.
And there you have it. So the other video that we just watched, even though the guy, the guy, on all honesty, he's probably used to just plain old run-of-the-mill, excuse me, that was gross, run-of-the-mill, needles. And yes, usually you take them out and then you'll pull the needle, put the cap back on and pull the needle off and put that in your sharps container. These, somebody said, oh, are they reusing it? It's gross. I'm like, no, they're not reusable. They put the whole thing to be discarded. It's just a safety feature for our medical personnel not to get it, and I like it. They won't get pricked by the needle that way. I've seen what happens, people have to go get tested big time when that happens. I know I got my post-nasal drip going on. Okay, the last thing I wanted to say, and me and Jigs and I were talking about this, is with me, one of the reasons why I'm waiting to get the vaccine. I'm not pro-vaccine. I'm not against vaccines. That's not my take. Okay, my take is, in my aunt from California, she's went through a lot of things like the polio vaccine and all that. And she said she's not getting it because it's too soon. They did it too quick. With me, the last I heard, and now it's different, was our immunity to the virus only lasted for 4 months, give or take a month, depending on who you are. Now, with all this hype about the vaccine, and I know they're trying to get people to accept the vaccine, and they're pushing against a lot of misinformation, which they are. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And I can understand that part of things, and trying to get people less scared of taking a vaccine that's going to help them potentially. To me, I want to see what the numbers, if they are accurate, shows in May. The numbers are going down in the United States. And there's only, I think, 5 states, it said, that actually have 44% of the SARS cases going up, right now, the new cases. Which we have 52, so we're 53 or 54. I don't know. We got states and territories. I'm not good with that. So, to me, in May, I would think that the numbers would be a little bit more accurate as far as whether or not things are going up quickly again. May or June. From the first vaccination, which is started, I think, end of January. End of January. So, I just want to wait and see what happens. And if all is good and the numbers do go down and people, maybe I will get the vaccine in the fall, beginning of the fall, like in September. Maybe. Now, with me, because I have issues with my lungs, they want me, as it is, to get the flu shot and the pneumonia shot at the same time as vaccines. So far, I have not. I've only done the flu vaccine. And so far, if I've ever gotten the flu, it's been just not bad symptoms. It feels like my allergies do in between the fall and the winter and the spring. So, in a way, it's kind of doing its job. I did put a question out there to Mr. McCarran about things. And my whole thing is it going to be worth it to get a vaccine if it's only going to provide a certain length of time immunity? And the last time we were looking at the papers, I've been a bad raccoon and I haven't been following too much because it's all been on the vaccine. We're following the vaccine because that's what's in the news. We're still not following the SARS cases in general alone. And my interest in virology is very keen. When I was going to school the last time, it was a science career, and it was because I wanted to be able to diagnose people in a lab in a hospital quicker in the ER. But I wanted to go where there was money, which is virology and genetics. The two things that I am learning, I'm glad, in a way, that schooling didn't work out. Because I see how against my morals some of that profession goes, so say it a different way. Moralistically, there are things that go on that I do not agree with. So, with that being said, I was talking to Jigs and I looked up immunity recovery from COVID-19. I don't want to know about the vaccine right now. I want to know about COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2. Hope they don't take me down just for saying it. So I come up with what the NIH is saying. Okay, National Institutes of Health. Fauci. If you can see me, I'm eye rolling. So I come up with what the NIH is presenting to the public right now. And as you can see, like I said, when you're looking things up, you gotta take the source into consideration. All last year with this political stuff, the far right was putting out these negative things about the far left, and people were sharing what the far left was saying about the far right, and none of it was the truth. If you're in the middle, you're stuck going, huh? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is that? And you're just going, huh? What? It's... So anyways, the National Institutes of Health puts out their papers and their research. And research matters. NIH research matters. Oh my god, I love that. I love that. Even though I'm not saying it right. Okay? It's NIH. Research issues, research matters, like issues. It just reminds me of BLM. Research matters. Anyways, I just got that. It made me laugh. Stupid things make me laugh. So anyways, January 26, 2021. You have to look at the dates, because I was talking to somebody recently that they come up with a paper. They sent me the paper, and I'm reading it, and all of a sudden I'm looking, and the date was last year in June. Well, that's come out since last year in June. A lot has happened since last year in June. So anyways, research matters. Lasting immunity found after recovery from COVID-19, which they're saying basically that after people recover from the infection, there's about 8 months of immunity, which is what we get with our flu vaccines. So after people recover from the infection, okay, the immune systems of more than 95% of people who recovered from COVID-19 had durable memories of the virus up to 8 months after infection. The results provide hope for that people receiving SARS-CoV-2 vaccines will develop similar lasting immune memories after vaccination. All right, I'm nervous right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not talking on something that I really have the power to talk about, only to say that you got to look at the dates and who's giving it. And then you got to look at something else, because Jigs, I pulled this paper up. Jigs actually showed me something. They would want you to think that the immune systems of more than 95% of people who recovered from COVID-19 had durable memories. Well, to me, yeah, I know. That's what I'm getting at, OC. That's what I'm getting at. Is that you see where I'm getting this right here? A person who's not learned, a person who doesn't know what they're doing, well, not that they don't know what they're doing, but the average layman that's reading this will read this part: the immune systems of more than 95% of people who recovered from COVID-19 had durable memories of the virus for up to 8 months after infection. They would read that and say, oh, okay. They would think it's all of people who had COVID-19, which is millions. All right, 90% of millions of people who recover from COVID-19. They're not looking at that this was a study done. All right, and that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. It's from the NIH, which is our government site. And after, when I got this, I went down the topic list of where I got this paper from my search engine, and all the mainstream media is doing is they're picking up on this article and they're saying this. However, when you go down here, it does state it was only 500 people that they did the study with. So 95% of those 500 people, not all the people in the world that had COVID-19, had memories up to 8 months after infection. After people recover from infection with the virus, the immune system retains the memory of it. Immune cells and proteins that circulate in the body can recognize and kill the pathogen if it's encountered again, protecting against disease and reducing illness severity. This long-term immune protection involves several components: antibodies, proteins that circulate in the blood, recognize foreign substances like viruses and neutralize them. Different types of T cells help recognize and kill pathogens. B cells make the new antibodies when the body needs them. All of these immune system components have been found in people who recover from SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. The details of this immune response on how long it lasts after infection have been unclear. Scattered reports of reinfection with SARS-CoV-2 have raised concerns that the immune system response to the virus might not be durable. To better understand the immune memory of SARS-CoV-2, researchers led by Drs. Daniela Weisskopf, Alessandro Sait, and Shane Crotty from the La Jolla Institute for Immunology analyzed immune cells and antibodies from almost 200 people. It wasn't 500 people even. 200 people who had been exposed to SARS-CoV-2. You see that? You see that? What I'm talking about? They only did 200 people. 95% of those 200 people. How many millions have been infected with SARS-CoV-2 right now? How many millions have already had COVID right now from the SARS-CoV-2 virus? And yet, this study was done with almost just 200 people. We don't know their comorbidities. I'm sure the paper has it. 95% of 200 people, 95% of 200 people who recovered from COVID-19 had durable memories of the virus for up to 8 months after infection, is what that should read. Alright. I don't think that's enough people to be making this claim that the virus can go up to 8 months. I think this is misleading. I think this is, and the media is running with it. They're not mentioning it was just 200 people. And it's to get us to think that this, I think it's, in my opinion, it's to get people to want to take the vaccine. So, this being said, this is what I wanted to see, because it doesn't involve vaccine matters. It just involves the virus. However, on a mass scale, 200 people to me, let's put it this way, I got a lot more people in my little village than 200 people. So, where does that leave us? That's a question for Dr. McCarran to answer and to find out. Because he'd understand better than I would. And if anybody is listening that doesn't know who Dr. McCarran is, check out his actually, I'm going to send people to his dojo. See, do you got the link to the dojo? The thing is Dr. McCarran has the experience to read these papers and to tell us if there's enough people in the study with doing this study. We don't know the comorbidities and stuff. And I'm giving you the link to the dojo, to Dr. McCann's personal site for live streaming, because he does a really good job. Thank you, OC. I'm sorry. I didn't give you a chance. He does a really good job explaining things. And he's the one that's qualified, more qualified than I, to talk about these things. Another person that has been trying to get the word out is Dr. Fleming, Fleming. If you can check his videos out, all you have to do is put his name in the browser and it should come up. His name is Dr. Richard Fleming, Fleming. and he speaks about virus and informed consent, because this is an issue. This is a real issue, and it's really important, and it's important for us too, as people. It's very important. So where does that leave the person with borderline? We don't have a good attention span at times. Many of us don't. It depends on our comorbidities. Hi colorist, how you doing? And it leaves us with us shaking our heads. Duh. Our brain is already going a mile a minute. Do we need all these mainstream media people putting all this stuff in our brains at all times? Alright, I did the morning coffee, BloodClots, fake news. Now on to checking in. I'm going to check in with myself, and I don't know about anybody else. I have already been streaming for over an hour. I'm on my second upping of my medication for the last 2 days, and my brain's not going in as many circles. I'm waiting for my dirty mind to go away again. I get stuck on certain words and I just can't let them go. But I also have things to get in order here. I have had a minor setback with my shower, and doing laundry in the shower. When I dumped my first bucket, it rained in my neighbor's downstairs apartment, my best friend, and I'm very ashamed of that. So I'm getting the house in order so that I can have the maintenance guy come in and fix that for me. And I know it's not something I did, because I didn't even press. I did recently fix my, change my, oh God, what is it called? My shower head. And went from one where you just stand, but I put a shower head where it's handheld. I don't think it's that. I'm hoping it's not that, because I don't think I moved that bar that bad. I just changed the shower head. But it's just very coincidental that now I have a problem. So it's been last 2 days taking hand baths in the sink and doing our hair in the sink, kitchen sink. It's okay, Yeah, I've been cheeky, I've been cranky, but last 2 days I've been taking the double dose now. I mean, I was on 120 milligrams of Cymbalta when we stopped it the last time, which is the highest dose I think you can take. And she had to start me on 20 milligrams. And I've been on 20 milligrams for the month. And yesterday we upped it to 40. Now here's what I'm talking about, borderline people, that, okay, problems with your meds. I turned around, I waited until this past appointment with my psychiatrist in hopes that she was going to up my meds, because I was driving myself nuts. Thank you, Eric. How are you doing? And lo and behold, I said, okay, she's calling in the 40 milligram dose. This was on Thursday. This is why you got to start it on Monday. You got to start trying to get your refills and stuff on Mondays. So anyways, Thursday she upped it. So when they sent it, I never called the pharmacy to see what was going on with it. I just figured, oh yeah, she sent it, and my insurance will cover it. Well, Friday I called to have it delivered, and lo and behold, my insurance does not cover 40 milligram tablets. It's either 20 milligrams or 60 milligrams. So here I am. I have enough for today and tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going, huh? So I get off the phone with the pharmacy. I call my psychiatrist's office and I tell Rhonda, I said, Rhonda, listen, I don't know what the big deal is, but my insurance doesn't cover the 40 milligrams. Can you please, please, please get a hold of my psychiatrist and let her know that she needs to redo the prescription so that I'm taking 220s a day. And Rhonda, of course, said yes. They're usually good about that, and my psychiatrist is usually good. Well, she didn't get back to them. I called this morning, and still, she didn't get back to them. So, here I was stuck on the weekend for my medications. So I only have enough for tonight, and that's it. Tomorrow they don't deliver. Well, I called first thing this morning, 9:30. Lo and behold, nothing. So I had to ask the pharmacy if they can turn around and give me enough 20 milligrams to take me into Monday or Tuesday so that we can get this straightened out. And I don't like asking the pharmacy to do that. But that's what I'm talking about, not waiting, starting it on Monday when you need to refill your meds. Because things happen, and this is a pain in the dupa. So that's where I am with that. And the other thing is I don't know about my live streaming because I got my daughter home all week long. And one of my videos, she was just not letting me do. I let her know I was doing this one. I didn't expect it to be over an hour long. So, I got to wrap it up soon. Because I am making homemade mac and cheese, meaning not out of the box. I got pasta. I got shredded cheeses. I got bacon. I got broccoli. I got the whole 9 yards, and I'm baking it in the oven. And there's nothing like a mac and cheese like that. I was going to do it last night, but I took a nap, and I should know better because if I take a nap, I'm not going to make a 4-course meal. So last night we had oh God, what is it called? We had grilled cheese sandwiches, and I made beef stew to go with that. And then just to get a little bit extra and have a little dessert, I cut up some an apple, and I cut up an orange, and we had apples and oranges for dessert. So that's what that was. So now today, I love pasta. I don't know. I can't get away with it. Without it. I love pasta. I like to make sauces. And that's another thing I'm going to be trying is getting more into my cooking, more into my bread making. Just for relief. I miss, making bread and having to knead it. You got those no-knead breads, but the kneading of the bread is kind of cool because it's kind of like playing with Play-Doh when you're 50 years old. You can play with you need it, and it's like playing with Play-Doh. So it's like, it's stress relief. So I think I'm going to get more into the cooking thing again. In my Discord, I will have more recipes. And I'm going to try to make this week fun for my daughter. I'm not going to pressure her with the homework this week. She needs a week off, just the way life goes. And then she goes back to school. She's Thursday and Friday. Mental health reasons, I have to let her go back to school as much as I can. For her mental health and for my mental health. It's what's more dangerous right now. So on the 26th, she'll be going back 4 days a week, which will give me 4 days to get my stuff done. This past weekend, Thursday and Friday, because she's just Thursday and Friday until the 26th. Thursday and Friday were very relaxing to me. And I got more done. So that, yeah, OC, that here it's, you get your Easter off and you get your Easter weekend off of Good Friday. And then you get spring break. And that's what the whole thing was college students were on spring break a few weeks back. And they were calling that super spreaders. And I don't advocate it, but, you know, I mean, my daughter, it's not just my daughter, there's a whole bunch of kids that are failing this year. Because at home, I guess the homework is distracting. You're at home, things are distracting. She gets her homework done at school. And I like that. I can be more involved, but I'm not a good teacher, I'm finding out. I'm not good at motivating her. So she needs to learn motivation, and if she gets that at school, that's a wonderful thing. I'm blessed with a lot of good teachers and good people in our lives. So that's one thing I did. Borderline, the people who do have mental health issues. I will say that taking the people out of your life that live unhealthy lifestyles, first of all, and like I said, it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're not living a life that's conducive to keeping your life force going. And then the next thing is to try to surround yourself with people who actually are life affirming, and not people who are going to give you everything that you can latch onto. Not those people, but just people that'll help you. The best person in life is the person who helps you help yourself. Governments do nothing for their citizens when they're just giving things out, because then their citizens do not learn how to get things for themselves. So anyways, like I said, it's been almost an hour and a half now, and I wanted to bring those to you because I felt those news articles needed to be brought up. They're important, and yes, I try to put in the effort. I'm trying to learn my limitations. You have to learn your limitations. And if one of my limitations is I can't drink. Alright? I can't forget to take my medications either. And that's an ongoing thing with the Cymbalta. I'm afraid. However, the Wellbutrin didn't help. So, the Cymbalta is what helped all these years, and I'm going back on it. Oh, and we had another incident on my street right across from where we had the fire a couple weeks ago. I'm hearing all the fire engines and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're like slowing down. Where are they slowing down? So I go outside barefoot, mind you, my hair all a muss and in my night robe again. And I go and look, and a bunch of firefighters and the fire rescue truck actually left with their lights on, coming from the mini mart that was across the street from where that fire was. And I was like, not again. I'm not going to stand out there and watch. I'm not going to be nosy. I'm not going to put myself in that position to where my borderline and my PTSD can be triggered again. Because my PTSD has been being triggered all week long, and I'm not going into why. It's not just a news article, OC, the other day. It's things have been going on here to where, and I'll tell you, I don't like yelling. I can't handle yelling around me. And it's nothing to do with me and my daughter in my home, so it's something I cannot control. And it's aggravating. And I have discussed this week with my therapist and my psychiatrist. So I just have to turn around and muster all the strength I can and try to do something different. And one of those something different is trying to, these broadcasts are helping me too. I really enjoy having you listen And thank you. I hope I did something right in this stream. Something positive I can learn from. See what works, see what didn't. And go from there. I love you guys. Osi, you're a good woman. And you do your best. I know you're not. It's hard for a borderline not to put people on pedestals. And I speak from my heart when I tell somebody, give somebody a compliment. And one time I gave Kevin a compliment, and he goes, "Oh, I might piss you off one day, so don't put me on that pedestal." No, I'm not. You know, everybody's human. Everybody fails, and I learned that the hard way. And many borderline people diagnosed with borderline do not learn that until after their 30s, like I did. So I keep telling myself when I find myself putting a person on a pedestal that, you know, they're a good person, but they could do something that you might not like, or say something you might not like, but it doesn't mean they're doing it to be a bad person. Y'all have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Thank you for listening to me. You do. You deserve. Anxious OC. Go out and check her channel out too. Actually, Anxious OC. The endorsement page that I had up. I'm actually working on something off screen to endorse those YouTube channels out, and yours is on it, and I'm going to be going into the descriptions on the channels to see exactly what your channel's about so that I don't misrepresent you each time I speak about you. like I can do Kevin McCarr. I'm kidding. But Anxious Ocean, she's a pretty impressive lady, and she's a lady in every sense of the word. She's you know, even though she gets stressed out too, probably, and she has her setbacks and stuff, she doesn't let it set her back. And she always does right by her and her daughter, or tries to thereof. She's a very high advocate for advocacy voice for what goes on in her country, which is Australia. And she's also got her own business. And I look up to those people that can manage like 3 things at once like that, you know, because I can't even manage one thing at once, which is my own home. So, anyways, yeah, OC has wonderful streams, and we all are human, and we all do have flaws, and that's one thing we gotta not beat ourselves up over. You know, don't beat ourselves. I got told yesterday by my therapist, do not beat yourself up. This happens. You're okay, I'm okay. I'm okay, you're okay. I will try to get better and figure out different things to bring. I know the channel, I can do that with this channel. Right now, like I said, we should be working on our warrior notebooks. The Who Am I section. Remember keeping your nouns, and your adverbs. And just have a very, very good day. Today's a different day. New day. Move forward. Warrior on. Talk to you guys later. Thank you for joining me.